my life before I started hearing about what lifestyle design is. Akala ko I just have to sit or wait passively for opportunities to come to me, or feeling ko kailangan ko na lang tanggapin kung anong ihain sa akin ng life at that time. For this video, I wanted to talk about something that completely changed my life. And the thing is, hindi ko naman talaga siya hinanap, or I wasn't really looking for it, but somehow it kind of found its way to me, and that is lifestyle design. So, back in 2020, I was just exploring the digital world, as in yung freelancing, virtual world, general VA, and stuff like that. And while I was browsing for job posts sa Upwork, I happened to find this one post for a role of a social media manager, project manager. And very interesting yung post kasi sabi doon parang may incentives to travel at some point if I do well on the job. And yun yung nag-catch ng attention ko, to be honest. But little did I know that working with this client would actually change my life. Kasi when I started talking to him, nung tinatry ko palang ikilala yung niche niya. So yung niche niya kasi, he's a professional speaker. Author na rin siya ngayon. And he has courses in Udemy. So when I learned about okay, ano ba yung Instagram niya? Chinek ko yung Instagram niya and I saw sa story highlights niya. He has this story highlights na parang books I've read. And kinalikot ko yung books I've read niya. Hindi pa ako nagsa-start ng work sa kanya nito ha. Kinalikot ko yung books I've read niya because I wanted to understand how he thinks so that I can do my job better, or maybe just get a glimpse of how can I work better with, or how can I provide value to this person? How can I do my job better and all that? Tapos na-curious lang ako. So, yung unang book na binili ko, na binasa niya is The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, the orange one. And yun yung una kong binili. And naalala ko nung nakuha ko yung libro na yun, may bagyo sa Bataan and mawawala ng kuryente. So, I had a chance to read it during the typhoon season. So, yun yung ginawa ko. And then, the next thing I read is The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. And then, I just keep buying more book na mga nabasa niya. Atomic Habit and other things. That's actually how I got into personal development. And of course, as I continue working with him, so he's a digital nomad as well. Wow, as well. So, he's a digital nomad and he travels very frequently around the world. He also flies business class a lot. And I think my life right now is kinda patterned to what I saw na ginagawa niya before. And while watching his videos on Udemy, yung mga courses niya and all that, kasi part yun ng job ko panoorin yung mga courses niya, which is what I love back then, na I loved watching his courses, tas taking notes from it, and then basta part yun ng work ko before. Kasi I feel like I'm getting paid to learn. I really enjoyed that job, honestly. I think that's just how my mind started to change. And that's when I learned about lifestyle design. Kasi my life before I started hearing about what lifestyle design is, akala ko I just have to sit or wait passively for opportunities to come to me. Or feeling ko kailangan ko na lang tanggapin kung anong ihain sa akin ng life or ng universe or ni Lord at that time. Kasi I grew up in a Christian family. I grew up with my Christian dad who has Christian values, but I didn't really have a really good understanding of things. But how I personally understood things back then is, bibigay na lang naman ni Lord sa'yo kung ano yung para sa'yo. Yeah, sure, you can ask, but tanggapin mo lang kung ano yung binigay sa'yo. So that's how I was passive about my life before. Okay, kasi yung parents ko, ang gusto nila or yung afford lang nila is accountancy na course. So hindi ako pwede mag-pursue ng culinary dreams ko or HRM dreams ko. But if I kinda have that mindset of lifestyle design before, I would try to find ways to make that dream work, in a sense na baka mag-part-time job ako somewhere, it's just really going for your dreams. But then back then I just have to tanggap whatever that's given to me. And kasi before, parang pag hindi mo tinanggap kung ano yung kaya ng pamilya mo or kung ano yung binigay sa'yo, parang ungrateful ka. But now, as I'm growing up, learning that I can actually have the life that I want, the job that I want, the lifestyle that I want, and designing my life around that, around what I actually want: time freedom, financial freedom, location freedom, designing my life around those and saying no to the things that are not aligned with that life I'm building. For example, may mga clients kami na who would require us to work ng daytime nila, which is madaling araw dito. And for me, I don't really do well ng puyat. I'm a morning person, di ako night owl. So, I don't accept clients who require us to work ng graveyard shift. And actually, nalala ko dito lang sa Jeju, may nakasama ako sa tour nung nakaraan na Pinoy. Tapos, nung nalaman niyang US clients ako, sabi niya, so, mamaya ang gabi ka mag-work. Sabi ko, hindi. Kasi hindi ako nagkipag-work sa clients na nire-require ako na gabi ako mag-work. or madaling araw ako mag-work. That's how I try to decide the life that I want. That's like one of the ways I design the life that I want. By saying no to clients who would require me to work graveyard and saying yes to clients who are okay, na parang okay as long as nagagawa mo to. I believe lifestyle design kasi is not really about being rich or parang traveling all the time. Although those can be part of it. But for me, ultimately, lifestyle design is being really intentional with how you live, with how you want your life to be. And, the actions that you take are leading you towards the life that you want. For me kasi, lifestyle design is being intentional with how you live, knowing that you have the ability to say no or say yes to the things that are more aligned with where you are heading, knowing that you have a choice who you give your time and energy to. Kasi as you are growing, as your life expands, there will be a lot of distractions here and there. I'm not saying distraction is just a form of a phone, but it can also be a form of people, events na can pull you away towards the life that you actually want. And yung distraction kasi hindi lang naman siya yung, kinausap ako nitong taon to, may notif ako bigla, or may tumawag sa akin, o biglang may kumausap sa akin, may nag-approach sa akin bigla na ka-office ko, nasa deep work ako, or I'm very into what I'm doing. We think of distraction as ganun kababaw. From one of the books I read, which is Indistractable by Nir Eyal, he said, distraction is anything that pulls you away from your goal. And it doesn't necessarily mean na dun yung mababaw na things. Sometimes, distractions are actually bigger than that. Let's say, a few months ago, I decided to enroll in a culinary school. May pasok kami every Saturday, so it was 12 Saturdays. And I knew back then that I have to set aside for a bit yung slow traveling ko. Traveling for more than a week kasi mamimiss ko yung classes ko. So, nung time na yun, yung distraction for me is slow traveling. So, if I want to be able to finish this course, hindi dapat ako ma-distract. So many times, I try to stop myself from booking a 2-week trip or a 3-week trip. And as someone who, whose lifestyle is used to going around frequently or staying longer in a place, sobrang hirap nun for me. So at the time, it was a distraction kasi yung goal ko that time was to finish my short course, yung culinary course. And I'm actually happy that I finished that course. May isa lang ako na-miss na class for a friend's wedding. But at the earlier part of this video, I mentioned wanting to study culinary. And now that I'm adult and I have money, I gave that to myself. And so that was my goal for that, the first quarter of 2026. So going back, yung distraction ko at that time was trying to stop myself from doing a 2-week trip or a 3-week trip kasi my goal at the time was to finish my culinary course, my short course. Dahil gala ako, since Saturday yung class ko, I tried to travel from Sunday to Thursday or Friday, or minsan Saturday. So nakadalawang travel ako during that 12-week course. But I can only travel ng weekdays lang. I traveled to Camiguin and then to Shanghai with my family. And that's also part of lifestyle design. Na, okay, how can I still incorporate traveling while pursuing this goal? Kasi namimiss ko talaga mag-travel. Namimiss ko lumipad. So, that's how I try to find a way to make travel work for me while still pursuing that goal. So, that's what I did. Nagta-travel ako during the weekdays. And that's the cool thing about lifestyle design. You can actually choose the life that you want, or you can actually build the life that you want. And to be honest, the only thing that's stopping me back then is thinking that I don't have a choice. Kailangan ko lang tanggapin kung anong binain sa akin ng universe. Ito yung hinain sa'yo, kainin mo. Binigyan ka ng tuyo, hindi ka pwede mag-request ng mackerel or ng tuna. Kahit na nasa lata lang. Tuna pa rin naman yun, di ba? So yun, akala ko, ganun lang. Akala ko kung anong ihain sa'yo, tanggapin mo. And that's it. But pwede naman pala na you become bold when it comes to pursuing the things that you want in life and making sure that your life is actually happening for you and not to you. Of course, hindi natin control lahat ng bagay. Sobrang hindi natin control. Even meeting that client, for me, I know it's God's working. Being led to working with that client, hindi ko controlled na ma-meet ko yung client na yun. Controlled ko lang how I'm gonna work with him, which led me to reading the books he's read and deciding that it's actually what I want, or it's, I like this, or parang, is this aligned? Is this client aligned with the person that I am becoming? I really enjoyed working with that client. But at some point, of course, in life, paiba-iba yung mga nangyayari sa buhay natin diba? I think I worked with him for 2 or 3 years. But nung time na yun, nung nag-decide na ako umalis sa kanya, kasi it no longer feels aligned with me. In a sense na I was niching down. I was focusing to working with creators and influencers in the fashion, beauty, and lifestyle industry. Kasi doon naman ako dinadala next na, okay, need to build this agency for like content creators to help them with the behind the scenes and stuff. And during that season, it felt more aligned to like niche down na hindi ako working with different clients kasi I was working with a spiritual healer, with a professional speaker, with an influencer in the fashion industry. I think I was also a bookkeeper ng part-time lang to something. And parang yung utak ko was like all over the place na that time. So I have to decide to niche down. That's why I had to let him go. I had to stop working with him so I can focus on building the agency that I want, which is actually aligned to the life that I'm building. Kasi I know that niching down will help me, parang consolidate ng lahat yung energy and focus ko on this type of clients that I'm working with. And I thrived in that. That's also how I built my current lifestyle. So yeah, sometimes you just really have to make decisions in life that are more aligned to the person you want to become. Not just to the life that you want to have, but the person you want to become. Gusto mo ba na maging very independent, going around the world, traveling here and there? Or kasi baka ikaw pala yung type ng tao na mas nagda-thrive ka if you're working with other people physically. But for me, I love working independently. That's actually what lifestyle design is. Knowing what matters to you and building your life around it instead of parang finifit mo yung life depende kung anong nangyayari sa buhay mo. Tas hindi mo naman gusto how it's turning out. And of course, lahat naman tayo, God has a plan for our lives. Each of us individually, may plan si Lord sa life natin. But you also have a role to play in it. You don't just hintay na lang ako mahulog yung apple sa puno, or like hintay na lang ako sa fruit na malaglag. Hintay niya lang malaglag yung apple, but when pwede niya naman palang pitasin. Like, it would be easier na pinitas mo lang yan, kainin mo, instead of waiting for it. Paano kung di naman pala mahulog yun? Paano kung di naman pala dumating yung opportunity na yun? And wait, speaking about opportunity, quick lang. Someone asked me na parang, do I believe in missed opportunities? Honestly, I don't. I don't believe in missed opportunities because if you missed an opportunity, it just means na hindi pa siya sa'yo. Hindi pa siya for you at that moment. And pag ready ka na, you can create that opportunity for yourself. So, I don't believe in missed opportunities. Segue lang. So, yun. Like, andyan na yung apple. Hinog na yan. Or pinibigay na ni Lord sa yan. Or andyan na yung bagay na gusto mo. Like, yung fruit. But you have to get up and actually pick it up. And if you're going to need a ladder or like a stool to get that thing that you want, then if you think about it, that's how you actually take some steps towards building the life that you want. So yeah, if nobody's ever told you, or if like me, lumaki ka din sa ganong mindset where parang hintayin mo na lang kung ano yung hinain sa'yo ng universe, you're not gonna build a life around the things that you actually want or around the things that are actually aligned with the life that you want to have. I want you to know that you actually have a choice. Like, don't tell me you don't have a choice. One of my favorite quote is, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. I'm not sure who said that, but that's one of my favorite quotes. And if tingin mo hindi mo kaya, sure, okay. If tingin mo kaya mo, yes, sure, go. So it's really up to you. Even tong video na to, I was actually hesitant kaninang umaga if I'm gonna do this video kasi I left my tripod sa isang hotel sa Busan. I realized I thought I have it in my luggage pero wala pala. My plan today was to film and use that tripod, but then na-realize ko wala pala siya. Hindi ko pala dala. And I could have made like a bunch of excuses not to do this video kasi wala yung tripod ko and all that. May mini tripod naman ako do. Pero yeah, I didn't let not having that big tripod stop me from actually making this video today. So yun, stop thinking that you don't have a choice because you always have a choice. And kung ano mang ginagawa mo or whether you decide something or not, that's already honestly a decision. And yeah, you have a choice. If iniisip mo wala kang choice, then you don't really have a choice. I can think about so many instances in life. Like, I also lost my T-Money card here in Jeju. I think I left it dun sa cafe na malayo dito sa hotel ko. The old me would just like let it go. But then I told myself like, no, I'll try to message the cafe. Maybe someone surrendered it and maybe they found it. And nag-message ako sa cafe, they responded the following day and they actually found it. Noong una, inisip ko pupunta ako dun sa cafe, but then nasa other side ako ng Jeju. Sobrang layo, like it will take me 2 to 3 hours. So I asked if my way ba to deliver it to my hotel, like may delivery service ba si Jeju? And then I don't know if it's the owner of the staff responding to my message. Sabi niya, he or she lives near my hotel. So he or she can just drop it off. But the old me would really just let it go. Wala na, iwan ko na eh. Nawala ko na eh. 1.5 lang naman yun. Diba? But then, something in me was like telling, okay, try ko kaya hanapin. Like, try ko kaya if nakita lang nila. Try ko mag-ask if kaya ba nila i-deliver sa hotel. And I got my card back. So, that's really cool. That's one of those ways that I don't want to just be passive about life. Meron din before. I was in Japan. Pagdating ko doon, parang nasira yung lock ng luggage ko. And I was willing to let it go, but I was with my friend and nilaban niya sa JAL yung luggage ko na nasira. Yung lock hindi gumagana. And I was flying business class as well, and then I read their terms and conditions for like damaged baggage and all that, and I actually can apply for a reimbursement or a refund or like pagawa. And then, sometimes the passive me will still show up. Like sabi ko, hayaan na. Like, it's okay, parang bilhin na lang ako ng other lock for it and all that. But I think I got compensated around 7,000 or 8,000 pesos for that damage, which if hinayaan ko na lang, I wouldn't get that money to buy me a new luggage or to actually have it repaired when I'm back in the Philippines, or maybe an extra money so may pang-spend pa ako sa Japan. If you can get free money, like, why not? Diba? And kasama naman yun sa terms and conditions nila. They damaged the bag. I need to get a compensation. I can get a compensation. So, yeah, those are some of my life situations before where parang I still have the tendency to be passive or like not complain. But because sometimes when we're being active about things, it kind of looks like we're complaining. Ang dami ko lang nakwento, but I really hope that if you're not doing it yet, I hope that this video somehow encouraged you to go design your life. Don't be passive about it. Build a life that you would actually want to wake up to every day. Like ngayon, dito ako sa hotel sa Jeju, I have, which you can see from the background, my hotel bed. It's actually big. Then I also have a jacuzzi beside me. This thing here is a jacuzzi. If something about today felt like a conversation you've been waiting to have, stick around. Because that's exactly what this show is here for. Figuring out life together with me, one honest conversation at a time. If you'd like to stay updated on all my podcast episodes, you can subscribe to this channel if you're watching this on YouTube, or you can give this show a follow on Spotify. I'd also love to hear what you think about the show. Send me a DM on Facebook or Instagram at Figuring Out Life PH. Let's continue to figure out life together, and I'll see you on the next one.